Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Supernova. I am your host, Paul Michaels, and my co-host.
I'm KJ McDermott.
Yeah.
That's my name.
No, I know you just. All right. Anyway, yeah. So this is our pretty much. I'm going to say right off the bat, we're just going to go into spoilers. I think that's the best way to talk about this movie and all of its positives, its negatives, and everything else that we can get into. So, yeah.
So,
Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
First off,
Yeah.
Yoda's kid. That was a curveball I did not see coming because I didn't think Yoda had any children. But
Yeah.
that one.
I thought he was
surprise.
like the last of his race type of deal, but I guess he can like procreate like through himself.
He's like a starfish, and when they cut off his hand, it just regrew another Yoda.
Yeah,
And
it's weird. So why don't they just make more Yodas then? I don't know. Anyway, maybe like a power struggle.
it's like a Time Lord regeneration. They can only do it a certain amount of times, you know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So no, and honestly, like okay, so the real spoilers. Let's talk about well, you know, let's go over all the positives first, like all the stuff that we really liked, and then we'll go into more of like the negatives. There's not a whole lot, I guess, as far as the film goes. It is a good movie. I'm about to go see it for my 5th time tonight, so I definitely like the
I've
film.
seen it once.
Yes, you have, but you would see it again if you were asked to see it again, right? Or
Yeah, I'd go see it again. I'm probably still gonna end up going to see it. Have you seen it in 3D yet?
no, I haven't seen it in 3D yet. No.
I suggest it.
No,
It's not overly done.
No, my friend wants to go see it in 3D tonight, so I'll be seeing it in 3D.
I liked it. It adds more depth to it when you see it in 3D, especially like with the spaceships and everything. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Especially like even like right at the beginning when Kylo Ren stops that laser beam. That's really cool to see in 3D. 'Cause it's like stuck there, but yeah, you can actually see that it's like there, and it's cool.
So okay, so I mean, if we're gonna start on positives, let's start with that. So right away, you can right away tell that the film is trying its best to re-invoke the emotions of the old films, but not just by writing and feeling like literally it feels like you're dropped back into Star Wars. Like so much of this film is practical effects. Like you can tell that the only time they did CGI is when it made sense, like with like the space battles and whatnot. But you feel watching the movie that if it could be done practically, they had it done practically. Like I mean, with the exception of like 1 or 2 characters, which we'll go into later. Everything is, for the most part, real. There's a scene where they go into a pub, which is meant to evoke the cantina scene.
It even has a band.
Yeah, it has the band.
Yeah.
But honestly, dude, I was smiling the whole way through that scene because it felt like a real place. It felt like real creatures. It felt like a intergalactic pub that would exist in Star Wars. So, yeah, but it's like the best way the film feels, the best way to explain it, at least as far as feeling it, is it feels like a natural evolution of the Star Wars universe. You have that one scene where in the beginning Poe is being attacked, he shoots at a few stormtroopers, and then he shoots at Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren stops the laser blast like in midair with the Force, and it just stays there. Now that's something that could only have been done in that film at that time. Like that's something that's a natural evolution. Like, okay, yes, we're still saying practical, but here's what we can do now. So take a look at this. This is a cool scene. Like
just graphics wise.
Well, graphics wise, and being like, I think it would have been hard for them to have made like a laser blast being held in that way that it's done and looks in that film. Do you know what I'm saying? Like being done in the earlier Star Wars films, like the original trilogy.
I still think that they could have done it.
I mean, it could have been done. I think it could have been done, but it wouldn't have looked as cool as it did in the movie. Like when the laser beam is being held, it's literally like vibrating.
I know.
Like
I did see this.
No, I know, but I'm just saying like there's extra detail that they added to make that, even though it's CGI, that aspect of it made it feel like more real in that sense. But okay, but yeah, everything from the villages to the planets, to being on the starships, being in the
actual sets. Who does that?
I don't know.
Come on.
But no, like everything about it felt
locations and places. That's messed up.
But it felt
we can do it all in a sound
good.
studio on a green screen, can't we?
All right, George, calm down. But yeah, honestly, that's the best way I can explain it. It just felt It felt like a natural evolution. It felt real, which is what I think people have just been wanting for so long from Star Wars, to feel like they can go home. That the saying of going home again, you know. But yeah, just like going home again when you get older, you're going back to the same place, except things are now different. Your friends are a bit older, and one of your best friends gave birth to a psychopath, and you have to deal with that, and it's a hard task. So,
yeah.
All right.
One of your friends gave birth to a whiny little bitch.
I know. Well, okay, we'll get on that more later. But yeah. So the new characters. I really dig the new characters. I like the new characters.
I'm excited to see what they do with the new characters.
Yeah.
They don't explain much. They don't really do much yet.
But they've been established. You get an idea of who they are.
Plenty of room for improvement.
Oh no, totally. There's definitely going to be a much. I mean, I'm hoping that there's going to be a good character arc throughout the next 2 films. But they give you enough information where you like the characters or you understand the characters, and then you want to see what's going to happen to them next. I mean, even Luke and Han and Leia, had pretty much the basic setup in the original Star Wars. You got like a decent backstory for all of them, and then you kind of learn more as it like went along and everything. But either way, I like that aspect. I think that was like well done. Like you're supposed to like the new characters if you're gonna connect to the next line of storytelling, and that's what they did. I think they did that. I think they did that pretty well. Do you have anything else to add? I mean, as far as positive, as far as you being a Star Wars fan, that you
positive
like?
Stuff.
I mean, I kind of went over most of it.
I like the pace of it.
The pacing was good. Yeah, pace was solid.
It wasn't like honest movie trailers. They were saying like it's not like action sequence and then 10 minutes of dialogue. Action sequence, 10 minutes of dialogue.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it had a nice pace and a good flow to it, where they combined the dialogue and the action, moved fluidly between each scene.
Yeah.
So it didn't seem so herky jerky.
Yeah, and that's even true back to the originals themselves, because the whole movie is one gradual moving piece. Even when they're not fighting stormtroopers, you legitimately feel for Obi-Wan and Luke when they're entering Mos Eisley and they're talking to people, or you have like a guy confronting Luke and then like Obi-Wan cuts the guy's arm off, but it doesn't go into a big action sequence. It's just pacing and the mood and everything. Like the mood is consistently moving forward. That's what I felt.
It definitely set everything up well.
Yeah.
Which makes me hopeful for the next 2. We'll see what the other directors do.
Yeah.
I hope it's not drastically a different directorial choice. And like
I don't feel it will be.
Stuff.
No, I mean, like, Kathleen Kennedy, who's in charge of Lucasfilm now. I mean, obviously in charge with Disney, but you can tell that she wants to keep the aesthetic of the old films while keeping. No, honestly, there's only people who make fun of J.J. Abrams, and understandably, but
I was making a joke that there was
no, there actually is. There's one lens flare. There's one lens flare if you look close.
It's not like Star Trek.
No, it's like every angle.
Yeah, 52 lens flares in one shot.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, who stars in this movie?
I don't know. But yeah, honestly, it just looked like Star Wars. It was good. But yeah, I dug it. But I mean, you like dug it as well. You
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay. Just trying to think if there's anything else we haven't really touched upon apart from new characters or anything. Okay. I guess we can start on the negative and stuff. I want to bring up something because someone brought this to my attention. Max Landis online. If people aren't familiar with Max Landis, he wrote Chronicle, American Ultra. He currently is writing like a Superman comic. He's involved in Hollywood and whatnot. Son of director John Landis. I don't know if he loved Force Awakens or not. I think he was kind of mixed about it. I think he liked aspects of it, but not everything. One of his main complaints, however, was the character of Rey. He wasn't so much against Rey, but he considered her more of a Mary Sue. And for those who don't know what a Mary Sue is, it's more of a character who's basically like things happen to them and they're basically they're good at everything. And that's in a sense I can understand where he's coming from, because when you think about it, Rey does have issues within the film, but almost everything that she touches, she immediately excels at. I mean,
but what does she actually do in the film? She can fly and she can work with electric.
No. Okay, so maybe
what else is she good at?
No. I'm saying I'm not stating my own opinion. I'm stating what Max Landis is stating.
Think about it for a second.
No.
Think what does she really do? She flies the Millennium Falcon.
No.
And she's good with machines.
No. Okay, so you and I know like why she's good at machines because she's on Jakku for a long time. We assume and we assume she's good with the Force because she and again this is spoilers, but she's most likely Luke Skywalker's daughter. Max Landis' complaint was that basically is that she doesn't suffer, I guess is the way to say. Like, okay, I'm just taking an example, but take the example he used was Luke. If you're going from like the main protagonist of the series, if you look at Luke actually fails at pretty much almost everything he does within the original Star Wars trilogy, and constantly has to be saved. Not saying that she has to be saved herself, but
also Luke was brought up with a mother and a father, where she was an orphan.
Okay, well, I mean, do you consider the Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru as like the mother-father figures, more or less?
He had a family. He worked on a farm. He was taken care of. She had to struggle to survive, so she had to be good at things and be independent.
Okay, that's fair.
It's completely two different characters.
All right, and again, that's good to argue and stuff. This isn't my opinion. This is Landis, but
think of it like in a different way because I don't know. She doesn't do too much.
No. Okay, but so hear me out. So like Luke, this is just like using New Hope. Like Luke tries to find something. Like when he's looking for old Ben, when he's looking for R2-D2, he gets captured by like the Sand People, and then Ben saves him. He goes to the bar. Ben saves him again. He goes even when he does the Death Star. The only reason he gets the shot in is because Han Solo comes in and saves him at the last minute, and it continues on into the other films. Like he gets taken up by a Wampa, gets saved by Han. I'm
wondering what the point is.
What I'm saying is that Luke was made a better character because he constantly has to go through trials and tribulations. Like whereas Rey,
maybe we'll see in the next movie when they go to like a different planet.
I'm saying there's more room for Rey to be improved as a character and have that happen to her in the next film. All I'm saying is Landis was making a point that almost everything that happens to Rey, she almost like immediately picks up. Like she does get kidnapped, but then she immediately overpowers her kidnapper. Like there's not any real. There's not a lot of struggle for Rey. Like I guess is the best way. Again, this is him putting this out. I'm kind of agreeing, but at the same point, I love Rey as a character, so it doesn't really bother me as much because, like, I like her. The fact that because she's so good at everything, I don't know, like you understand why people are attracted to her, or why people like grasp onto her, basically, as both a person.
Conversely, we have Finn, who's not good at anything.
I know, see, but then like maybe that's why I like Finn more to some degree as well. Like I mean, Rey's the main protagonist, yes, and I like her as a character, but I felt more connection to Finn because he has to constantly suffer. He has to kind of maneuver and figure out like a new direction where to go. I don't know, but that's but overall, like I
just like the boys.
Go fuck yourself. No, but I liked Poe and I liked Finn and I liked Rey as far as those three new characters were concerned. I was just wanting to point that out. Like some people have, I guess they have an aspect of like being somewhat of a marriage.
Does that mean you don't like BB-8 because he's good at everything he does? He doesn't really mess up too much. He's not an R2-D2 or a C-3PO who fucks things up.
I would laugh if he just turns out to be like the son of R2-D2. Basically, we just never knew this whole time. I don't know, But like, yeah, so, actually we should talk about the droid, because BB-8 actually is really, really good. Because, like, okay, everyone knows going in, there's a lot of new stuff in the films, because they're trying to basically, make new toys, make new things. It's probably the only reason...
Marketing!
Yeah, it's probably the only reason why C-3PO has the red arm, just so they can sell the Force Awakens edition of C-3PO action figure. I mean,
you've seen now. I wasn't just imagining it when at the end.
No. I've watched it 4 times. He does have the yellow arm at the end when they're waving goodbye. Yeah, I guess he does mention in conversation that he's about to get it replaced anyway. So it does work. It does work.
Because I remember talking to you and Tom about that night, and you were.
I didn't catch it.
Like you're like, no, I didn't. I was like, yeah, I totally did.
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it the first time, man. I mean, but it's so quick though too. Like you have to kind of notice it, to be honest. But yeah, so BB-8 is a great little robot because because being Star Wars, you love C-3PO and R2-D2 so much from growing up. You're like, okay, I can see a new droid, but it'll probably be like marketed to kids. It won't be like a Jar Jar Binks, but I don't know if I can really like grow to like really like appreciate it and stuff. But no, you end up really actually caring about the little robot. Like he's just this little soccer ball that just rides around and is voiced by Bill Hader and Ben Schwartz, which is hilarious. And
he's going to be the mascot for the next World Cup.
And they actually end up kicking him around.
I would actually love that if he was. But.
Yeah, I think that's a very big possibility, seeing as how huge Star Wars is.
I'm surprised they haven't made. Oh, I'm sure that they have already made BB-8 soccer balls.
They probably have, I assume. I know they made alarm clocks and cookie jars and everything else at this point.
Or the actual, the robot, which I was.
The actual robot in the film is real.
Shit.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like the toy one.
Oh, the toy one.
You can like program it with your phone and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it's like remote controlled, and you can set it to like wander around your house and like motion detectors and shit. Yeah, I'm not joking.
No, I'd laugh if it had the lighter thing too in it, so like that pops out of them like it does in the movie. That'd be hilarious.
Or like the wires that it has to like shoot at when like the Millennium Falcon's going all crazy and it's like it shoots out the wires to like stable itself.
That would be fucking awesome. Okay, so all right, let's go into some more like negative territory, I guess, here with characters. Now I didn't mind these characters as they were portrayed, because I think the characters are only going to expand further in the newer films, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding them, so I want to know more about them. But this is like that middle ground of where, do we use practical effects for these characters, or can we make them fully CGI, like a Gollum type effect? Because is it more of a Gollum-like creature that has to move around, and it would be harder to make into a puppet or does the character look like this because it's a hologram as well? So the characters I'm talking about are obviously Supreme Leader Snoke, who we found out is the reason why everything has sort of fallen apart. He again, spoilers, he corrupted Han Solo's son, Ben Solo, who was training to be a Jedi under Luke, who then, we predicted this was probably the case, as far as like children of either Luke or Han, or Leia, and what would happen. But Ben Solo goes corrupt, becomes Kylo Ren, destroys the new Jedi Order that was being established, and then everything goes back into dark times, more or less. With the Republic still standing, but the First Order like growing and rising with Snoke behind them. The first time we see Snoke, we're almost put aside thinking he's this like giant creature on a throne talking to General Hux and Kylo Ren, only to then at the end of the scene find out he's just a giant hologram, sort of in the same vein as
big fat phony. Phony.
It's a phony. But yeah, like it's very much like the scene in Empire Strikes Back where Vader is like kneeling to that big hologram head version of the Emperor, however version you want to watch. But yeah, except now it's like a giant full body throne thing, and it doesn't look.
I thought it looked goofy.
Yeah, it looks goofy, but I'm saying like the holograms are no longer blue tinted.
I thought that even him as a character looked goofy.
No, he definitely. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that the hologram itself does not look blue and tinted like the older films.
Especially because they're in like a dark room that's all like smoky, that looks like it's something out of Lord of the Rings.
I know, it's very odd.
When did we enter fucking Moria here? Like,
but I mean, if they need to, they can use that as an excuse as to why he came off as looking so. I mean, with everything, the thing is, the film blends practical and CGI effects so well that when something is fully CGI, it really sticks out. And so, like, I feel like it kind of like hurts the film in that sense. Not that like the character necessarily.
I thought about what's her name, like Roz, or what's her name?
Maz. Yeah. Maz. So that's I'm getting on to that next. So anyway, with Snoke, you find out as a giant hologram. However, he does look cool in the sense like he's goofy, but there's a lot of mystery surrounding him because he's
like a zombie.
Well, he looked like a zombie, even somewhat reminiscent of the alien from the end of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull from the Indiana Jones series. But you can tell that there's a lot of mystery surrounding his character because of all the scars on his head and his face.
I guess it makes sense. On the fan theory saying that he's actually
Darth Plagueis.
Yeah. Palpatine's old former master who was able to cheat death by using the Force.
Yeah.
Bring about life and all yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So I guess if he did cheap death, it makes sense that he might look like a zombie. But
well, that's the theory, and that's what
theory now.
But I'm going with that theory because honestly, it makes a lot of sense. He was a powerful Sith Lord. He trained Palpatine. Palpatine betrayed him in his sleep. But knowing that Palpatine could overpower him, and we don't know.
Kind of just hid in the shadows until Palpatine was dead.
Yeah, because he realized if he took on Palpatine head front, he'd have to face the Empire that he had built, as well as his old apprentice would probably sense him coming. But he's like, okay, if I wait this out, because he seems to be an old ancient creature for one, too, so a couple decades to him is not going to be that long. So he waits it out, figures out, okay, I'll wait till the next guy dethrones Palpatine because it's bound to happen eventually. He's going to get old and tired and whatever, and his apprentice or somebody else will take him down. And then I'll take on that guy. And it makes more sense, too, because he doesn't even confront Luke head-on. If he corrupted one of his students, then he can, get the upper hand on him. So, yeah, making him Darth Plagueis would be a great thing to do, as well, tying all the series together, as well as making a point. I mean, honestly, I like Revenge of the Sith more than you do, but that scene where he's telling the whole mythology of Darth Plagueis to Anakin in the opera, like, that's one of my favorite scenes in that film, just because of the mythology surrounding the Jedi and the Sith and everything. So I think that's really cool. Also, fun fact, everyone who knows this, John Williams has scored all of the Star Wars films.
I didn't enjoy the score. I thought there was nothing there to it.
No. I'm not talking about the film score in general of Force Awakens, but if you do notice, the music that plays while Snoke is talking and while whenever they're in his presence is almost identical to the music that you hear in Episode 3 when Palpatine is telling Anakin about the myth of Darth Plagueis. It's like almost on point.
John Williams is being lazy.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like,
let's just sample this track, sir. That's your own music. Well, let's just play it again.
Okay, so that being said, we'll talk about John Williams because I didn't mind personally the score. I do admit to you that it's not. It didn't make a profound, what's the word I'm looking for? It didn't have a profoundness about it. It was very lighthearted, or it was very.
The thing that Tom said, which I agreed with, and then when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, like each of the movies, there's those themes that have a unique feel to it, where it's
there's new themes always being introduced in a sense.
Yeah. Like in the original one, it was when Luke is looking up at the twin suns, and it's the whole like the slow version of it, and he's looking up and just being like and like whatever. Or
the fifth one where it introduces the Imperial March, because that's when like that was really put in there.
Or then you look back at Phantom Menace with the Duel of Fates, that whole scene and everything. They all have that one song that like really like powers it home, and you're just like, oh, holy fuck, like this is cool.
There are so I've listened to the actual score by itself, not the whole thing, but I've listened to some of it. And honestly, there are new themes, but they're very underplayed. They're not big operatic as they
seem like it just to me there wasn't that one song that like stood out in the score where it's like this epic scene is happening and then you could hear it and be like, oh man, like this is so cool, I'm gonna go home and download it right now.
I totally agree with you. However, I just want to say that there is new stuff in here that's not just like he went on immediately all on repeat. There's Rey's theme, but it's all everything around Rey's theme is all very low key, because all of her scenes, like when we first see her, are just her scavenging through the wasteland, picking up parts. Like there's nothing huge going on yet until much later in the film when all the characters are coming together. So I think John Williams will hopefully go bigger and better in the next one. And again, that's how I feel the next movie is going to be. It's going to be bigger. Because honestly, that's the other negative I kind of want to talk about. It's a small negative compared, because it's done affectionately. But yeah, the thing everyone's been saying, and I agree with them, this movie is basically a whole retread of A New Hope, basically, in many, many ways. But I mean, also to some degree, you could even make arguments that Phantom Menace is very much the same way. Not to say that like it's anywhere near that quality of Phantom Menace, but you know, finding the person on the sand planet, taking down the big bad, the big flight space battle up in the sky and all that stuff. But I mean, the good thing is that it's an affectionate remake. But that being said, if this is going to be New Hope, then chances are the next film is going to go along the lines of The Empire Strikes Back, because I think it also is going to get much darker in the second one, because we're really going to learn in depth like what happened to Luke, what happened with the Jedi Order, like when Kylo became corrupted, how it affected his relationship with.
The Doctor needed Luke. He needed a new companion after Clara left, and it was just like, oh my God, this guy. He seems like
Doctor from Doctor Who. He's got
a good moral compass, and he can help me out. Like let's grab him and go kill everybody. Like,
yeah. Okay.
And that was the end of the Cybermen and the Daleks and the Silence and the Weeping Angels and everyone.
Okay, to be fair, like the movie itself is good all the way through. The part where it becomes amazing to me is that last 5 minutes where she goes to the Jedi Temple. She walks up the steps, just like all like. Because the thing is too, the original Star Wars films took a lot from Akira Kurosawa and westerns and stuff like that as well. And you can definitely see that J.J. Abrams went back to that and did that, because you can even see it in like the flashbacks where the Padawans are getting murdered. They look like they're on in an Akira Kurosawa type film with the rain and like the outfits, and that. Even when she's fighting Kylo Ren in the Winter Forest, that's something right out of a samurai film. So the same thing where she's walking up the steps, going to see the old wise monk.
It's going. I was just gonna say, going up the giant staircase to meet the Enlightened One.
Exactly, and then there's Luke. I want to state this for the record because it could just be a weird rock formation. No one's really talked about this. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but I've seen it a bunch of times, and it doesn't change anytime I see it. It looks like he's standing at the foot of a grave. I know it sounds weird, but there's a rock coming out of the earth, like and he's like parallel to it, pretty much, just standing. What looks like he's standing at a grave, paying respects to something. Either that or he's meditating. I don't know, but he's standing, and it looks like he's standing at a grave site, and. My assumption is that Rey has either been, she just doesn't remember.
Or
maybe
she was the twin.
Well, no. So,
maybe that's the mother.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's like the mom.
Gasp.
So she's abandoned on Jakku. I assume by the mother who like raised her up to that point. Maybe Rey was on the island for a little while and doesn't remember much about it or something.
I just thought of something.
What?
We really don't know the ages of Rey and of Ben.
And Kylo Ren, yeah, for sure. Well, no, I was thinking about that too.
Be older, because what if let's say Kylo Ren is older, and he was training him up, and he started to turn dark and everything, and to save his own daughter, Luke sent her away.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what it could have been, and that's why again I don't think that they're twins. Some people.
I don't think
everyone went in thinking that they were going to be the Solo twins, and one went to the dark and one went to the light, and some people still have stuck to that theory, even though.
You think that Leia would have remembered?
That's what I was saying too. I was like, both Han and Leia.
When she's like, it's our son. And like whatever, she wouldn't have been like, whatever happened to our daughter?
I don't know. Like Han just was like, just grudges,
memory wipe.
No, so I think she might have been there before. Because remember too, there's this scene where Kylo Ren is trying to read her mind the first time, and I don't know if you remember the lines, but he says to her before he talks about Han Solo, he's like, "Oh, I see it. You're thinking of this island." All surrounded by water, and then he just moves on to the next thing. But he might have been talking about Luke's place. Yeah. I don't know, but it's hard to say if Luke was training Jedi there, or if that's the place that he exiled himself to. So it's hard to say. But I definitely think the person who abandoned Rey on Jakku was her mother, for sure, or who had relations with Luke, and then It's just hard to say like what she knows about Luke and what Luke knows about her. Like, how old was she when she left, or for that matter, was she even raised with Luke? Was it more of like Luke and the mother had something, and then for some reason, maybe the mom didn't know that he was Luke Skywalker, and then figured out what he was, and then just left because she didn't want, that complication. I don't know. And then it just kind of worked out in their favor, maybe? I don't know. I definitely think there's a connection. The fact that both Rey and the guy who has the map to Luke Skywalker is on the same planet, that's a tremendous coincidence. I almost feel like he was left there in sort of an Obi-Wan-ish type role to maybe keep an eye on her, but never present himself, but make sure that she stays on the planet, or something like that. That's another theory. Because again, he has the map, and maybe he wanted to give it to her to help show her the way to Luke. But then, things got so bad that because remember, that's what he first says to the captain. He's like, I've come from the Church of the Force, and I've seen this. It's too much now. Like you guys need Luke Skywalker back. Yeah. So there's something about that. Anyway, but this is what I love about the film, is that it's got us talking on this level. It's got us anticipating what's coming next, and it's not just like oh, this would be better, but just the fact of we were entertained enough in that movie that we just want more of what's coming, basically. So I think it was brilliant to actually have Luke at the very end. That is a hell of a way to cap off a
they knew
movie.
Everybody was waiting for.
Well, that's the thing too. Both J.J. Abrams and Kasdan and even Michael Arndt, they were going through different drafts when they were originally writing the movie, and they realized the minute they brought Luke into the movie, he took over the film, and you were concentrated more on what Luke was doing than you were the new characters. Which when you're making a new movie, you have to get the new characters.
What sucks is that if now that we've got it established and everything, that if they just ignore him, if he's just there for a little, the first couple scenes, he's
I don't know. I see him becoming in more of a sense like the new Yoda.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yoda in Jedi, where he's just I'm old. Here's a little bit of training. I'm done.
I hope they don't go that route. I hope you actually get to see Luke be like the Master Jedi. I mean that's what I think that would be a way to establish himself. I don't know. Well,
why he decides to go au naturel with his robot?
Well, honestly, dude, I was talking to you and Tom about this, our other roommate Tom, but just the idea that he had it natural first in Empire, and then he gets it shot, and then he has the glove on for the rest of the movie. And if he went into self-exile, maybe he just let the prosthetic skin just kind of rot away. He didn't really give a shit.
Do you think it rots?
I don't know. We never really had an idea of it because in the prequels it's all robotic. It's never he never has the prosthetic skin. It doesn't come up until Empire. So if it was damaged and he never got it fixed and he just kind of let it I don't know, not rot, but disintegrate away, I guess. I don't know. That's what I assumed had happened because he's just the old monk on top of the mountain and he's cut himself off from the world. But okay, anyway, I'm trying to think of any more. Oh, so let's talk about I believe her name is Maz, the one played by Pita. I can never pronounce her full name, but the great actress from 12 Years a Slave.
The character is good. I just didn't like how she was fully CGI. Of everything else,
I know that was another.
All even most of the characters that are in the cantina are all people in makeup, people in prosthetics.
But the one we have to talk to is all
one
CGI.
Or two people that are obviously CGI characters, or even a mixture of CGI, animatronics, and other stuff.
Yeah.
And then the main character in the place is just a fully rendered CGI character.
But then I come to the conclusion too. What were they trying to accomplish with the character? Was it someone that they could have made a full puppet, or was it more of a character that had to move and had to walk and had to be more of a Gollum-like character? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what their execution was on that.
They could have done a mix.
They could have.
Look at Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
He still walks around. He still does stuff. And guess what? He's still a puppet.
I know.
Sure, he still looks like a puppet.
But it'd be that kind of funny thing where we never see her feet. We just see her move around.
You know what I'm saying?
No. I understand what you're saying. No,
I'm not looking for a dance scene in Return of the Jedi where it's we don't we see them doing the two-step
Yeah. No, even Yoda walked around in his little hut and everything too. I don't know. Maybe it was just too difficult to pull off, and they thought it'd be easier just to make her fully. I mean, it's good CGI. It's not necessarily bad. Like with Snoke was like it was bad enough where you were like, I don't know about this scene. I mean, the dialogue was fine, but then you're like just kind of happy that it's a hologram. Like maybe they can just maybe they can just slide that under the rug and say, oh, it was weird hologram technology that made him look so weird and whatever. I don't know, but I feel if fans talk about it a little bit more, maybe they'll adjust a few things. I don't know, but again, there was supposed to be a scene where she was supposed to talk to them and actually explain where she got the lightsaber from. But then they wanted to save that for another film because Abrams felt that it cut against the pacing. She was actually supposed to follow them to the rebel base, but then Then Abrams realized that she just kind of stands around and does nothing. So it's like why have her even come? Let's just cut it, basically. So
let's just let her die.
Yeah. Oh, I should mention that actually too. Poe, the X-wing fighter pilot,
supposed to be dead. They brought him back.
They brought him back. Yeah. I mean, granted, everyone saw the trailer. So when Finn couldn't find him in the TIE fighter, I was like, well, we know he's gonna come back later. But then, like, you have the scenes.
I was thrown from the TIE fighter, and what? Did you have a parachute? No, I just crash landed in all this really soft mountains of sand, and
yeah, we didn't see you anywhere, man. Like, how did he miss you? He was walking around the desert for hours. But it's like stuff like that. You just kind of let go. You're just like, it's fantasy. Just like, it's like you're just kind of glad enough to see the character come back. So you just kind of fuck it. Who cares? I don't know. I mean, that's how I've seen it going in many times. So, I guess that's really more or less the negative. Oh, I guess okay. So the other. This is a small point, but I felt it could have been stated better, I guess, because we've talked about this, and a few other people have. Some of my friends didn't have issue with it. I did, but it's been 30 years. We don't really know what's happened, politically or anything. Now, yes, you don't need to go full-on prequel politics, giant Senate room, like half an hour where you're just waiting for that part to end type of deal, but. A commentator online, Robert Walker, made a great point. He said, in A New Hope, it's a very brief, like less than 5-minute scene where it's just all the bad guys in the room in the Death Star talking about everything that's happened, and Vader comes in with Grand Moff talking.
I find your lack of faith stupid.
Yeah, but he talks about the Senate. You find everything's been liquidated. You find out how they have full control of like the galaxy, more or less. And then some idiot makes a crack about the Force, and Vader like threatens and chokes him. You get everything that you need to know about the power and like where it stands. The power of the dark side. But you understand where everything is basically within that world and how everything is more or less controlled. And I understand why they didn't necessarily do it this time, because they knew they were maybe kind of a little worried to get back into the politics after the prequels, and I totally get that. But like a 2-3 minute scene, either on the good guys or the bad guys side, of just everyone talking about like
kind of condition the universe is in.
Yeah, basically,
who's actually running things.
Yeah, I understood that what happened, like when the First Order releases the big giant death ray that kills like 5 planets at once, which is again upping stuff from the original.
Yeah, but then I thought that scene was weird because we actually don't know what the planets were. Was it Coruscant?
Yeah, we don't know like what they took out.
It is because it kind of looks like it.
Yeah,
but. You're saying that there's only one city planet in the
yeah, because we've seen many forest planets, we've seen many sand planets. So I mean, but
is that are those other planets just like rebel base planets, or
yeah? Well,
what are they?
We know for a fact.
Well, we need to target this many planets because we need to
show them what we got. But yeah,
this one's not even inhabited. Blow it up anyway.
It'll be the last day of the Republic. Like that big speech and everything. Like, okay, we get it. You're space Nazis. We know you don't need to. All right. Well, anyway.
They've always been space Nazis.
Oh, I know. But but okay. What we do know is they took out pretty much a lot of the Republic, and more importantly, they took out a lot of the Republic fleet, which is what they were talking about. They do bring that up several times. We don't want the Republic fleet helping out any more of the Resistance or whatever. Like the First Order will rule all and all that. So yeah, like just one little scene talking about where everything was after the fall of the Empire would maybe have been a little bit less. I mean, it's not. I don't feel it would have been spoon feeding the audience. I feel it would have been a good, nice little 2-second not 2-second, but 2-minute catch up, just so we got a good like grounding and our feet on the ground type of deal. But again, they knew going in we'd be more concerned about the main characters, our gang of friends that we haven't seen in 30 years, and what they're doing and where they've been, and then oh god, that'd be hilarious. Snoke actually takes off a mask and it's Donald Trump.
No, he doesn't take off the mask. He puts on the toupee.
He just puts on the toupee. Oh man, but I like what they're doing with Snoke as far as like making him mysterious and everything. Like he's definitely going to be more or less something related to Darth Plagueis, if not even basically a great idea of this. I want to say like anti-Yoda, because he's a very old creature. You can tell he's not necessarily human, but he's he's just, I don't know, he's just a force of evil basically. But
you know what I think will be fun in the second one is if like Luke's been in exile and everything.
Yeah.
If we have a whole scene where he's talking to Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Yeah.
And like,
well, I'm kind of mixed about that because okay, so
like if he's like sitting there meditating by himself and
and we see them, but so this is the thing.
They go into like a dream state and he's like talking to them.
I want them to bring back Ghost Yoda, and if they show Yoda, make him a puppet, because that's what I think people would want. They'd want puppet Yoda. They don't want
a ghost puppet Yoda.
Ghost puppet Yoda. I'm only just kind of mixed about Obi-Wan, because when I think of Obi-Wan, for the most part, I think of Alec Guinness, because that's the Obi-Wan that I grew up with. I know you have Ewan McGregor, who did a great job, or did his best with the prequels and everything. Now, I do know for a fact that they took voice snippets when Rey has the vision, when she grabs the lightsaber. You have the vision of the Empire Strikes Back hallway. It's been confirmed by JJ and Lucasfilm that there's voice clips of Alec Guinness saying Rey, Yoda from Empire Strikes Back, and Ewan McGregor saying something like the Force is strong or something like that. I forget the exact statement. But Ewan McGregor actually came in to record lines for that. So I don't know. It's that I kind of don't want to talk about the prequels. I don't want them kind of mentioning the prequels, even though it's part of the world. Like even when they do in the film, it's meant as a joke when they talk about like, well, if your soldiers aren't good enough, maybe we should have got a clone army or something like that. They even make that as a joke and everything. I don't know. If they bring back any old Jedi, I feel bringing back Yoda would just be best. I feel like Yoda would just be enough, because I feel if they did Alec Guinness, or if they brought back Obi-Wan, he would have to look like Alec Guinness, because that's how we see him in Return of the Jedi. He doesn't look like young Obi-Wan, because that's not how he died. You know, I mean, granted, we're not talking about the special editions. We're talking the original theatrical version. Even No. I know, but I'm saying like if we're talking also too about like Anakin, because Anakin was like the Sebastian Shaw guy, not Hayden Christensen in the original version, obviously. But yeah, there's talks about that too. Like there's rumors that they want to. I don't know. My friend was saying that there's rumors about Hayden Christensen coming back at some point, because either something would do with Darth Vader, or maybe Visions or something like that. It's hard to say at this point. But I hope they just kind of stay away from that. I'm saying if they're going to bring back Obi-Wan, like maybe we see like a CGI image of Alec Guinness, but don't have him talk. Don't have it be like Obi-Wan. I can't. I don't know. I feel like it would be in bad taste. I'd rather just see Ghost. I think Ghost Yoda would be enough, because Obi-Wan introduced him to everything, but Yoda is the one who actually did train him and like made him become like a Jedi. Mm-hmm. You know. But yes, I definitely would love a scene like where because he's needed people to talk to, so obviously he'd be talking to Ghost Jedi.
He actually makes his own puppet of Yoda, like a stock puppet Yoda, and he's like, yes, we're good friends. And he's like, oh, Yoda, thank you, and he's actually gone crazy.
No, I'm saying like that's what they make a joke about that in Empire, because you're wondering if Yoda has gone crazy himself. But that's but he's talking to stock puppet Yoda, and Rey's just like sitting there, like kind of smiling, but like very awkward, like, okay, you're crazy. What do I do now? Okay, so I think that's it. Apart from the Maz being CGI and everything, I mean, it looked good. I think they could do better, or if they do any new type of little alien characters, I feel make them practical or make it a puppet, but make it a good puppet. Don't do like episode 1 Yoda. Like not like when they went back and re-CGI'd him. Like I mean like that first puppet Yoda in Phantom Menace was not. It wasn't a great looking Yoda. It could have been better. But make good puppets. I don't know. Okay, I guess that's it, more or less it. Wrapping up, is there anything else you want to say, positive or negative about the film?
Well, yeah, I don't think we really touched on Kylo Ren too much.
Okay, yeah, Kylo Ren. That's right. We haven't talked about actually the biggest thing.
Yeah,
all right.
The first scene, he seems like such a badass. He like stops the laser beam. He's like, kill the entire village. Yeah. He's all hardcore and everything. And as the movie progresses, he just turns into a whiny little bitch.
Yeah. But I think, but to be fair, I think that's on purpose though too.
Yeah.
Like
but
it's
then
meant
again,
to.
Yeah, the dark side is all fueled by emotions, and
yeah.
I mean, you look at his bloodline. All the Skywalkers are kind of whiny bitches, except for like Leia. Like
Leia just gets it done pretty much.
Yeah.
Leia's pretty cool. It's hard to top Leia.
I'll top Leia.
Well, I mean,
old Leia. I mean, young Leia, I should say.
I mean, if you want old Leia, that's your deal. I'm not judging you.
But
okay,
I don't know. Like the minute he took off the mask, it killed it for me. Like I understand that, like he wants to FaceTime and like whatever, but like him with the mask on, he seems so badass.
Here's what I think should have happened.
Off and he's just like, oh hi, like. Hi, like
no. Okay, first it doesn't sound like that, but let's. Okay, I think
that, like when he has like little temper tantrums and he smashes he lightsabers up.
He destroys the navigation system on the ship.
The guy, the repairman on that ship must be like, motherfucker, had another tantrum. I gotta fix all this shit again. Like the fuck, like all the fucking cells opened up on the detention block because you just fucking messed up this terminal, you dick. Like
okay, so. I agree with you about the mask, and then I think... I mean again, I've seen it, and I like it when I watch the movie, but I feel maybe they should have had the face reveal for when he confronts Han Solo.
Yeah.
Because we find out not almost immediately...
That would make more sense.
Yeah, because then it seems more like... Yeah. It's... Okay. Okay, well, that being said, I'm going to go back here a second, because I really want to talk more about Han Solo, because this is the issue. So... Okay, so what? Pretty much like 10, 15 minutes after we find Han Solo, we're pretty much told right away that Kylo Ren is Ben Solo. Like it's not even like it's not like hinted at. It's literally told by Snoke to him, like your dad is on the Millennium Falcon again, and you got to go get him. And he's like, he means nothing to me, and all that other stuff. I think too they might have done the scene with Rey and him removing the mask because like Vader, you're kind of wondering if he has scars or something like that, and they just wanted to show that no, he's actually just a regular guy. He just puts on the mask because it's part of either the Knights of Ren or he's trying to be this badass basically. I think the whole point of Kylo Ren was to show that he's only been giving off the impression of being a badass, but the real truth is that like he's lucky. Because he was lucky to be trained by Luke Skywalker, but he hasn't had any competition in like what seems like 15 years at least. He's basically just been. He did this one horrible thing, and then he's just been a dick pretty much the whole time until like the new guys like show up and everything and start fucking with his plans. Because the minute shit goes wrong. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like not being in control, and he like throws his little hissy fits and everything else. But it's meant to show you that like, yeah, pretty much any guy who tries to act like a badass and tries to be like all tough, really they're just. It's like J.J. Abrams saying like, in reality, that means that they're just like insecure little douchebag. So in that sense, like I can see that working. So my main issue with the film that I still have trouble watching, more because I think because it has to do with the death of the character. This is again huge spoilers. Han Solo dies. Now, yeah. Well, no, for me, like I went in, I didn't have any, fantasies. I wanted everybody to be okay.
Harrison Ford is sitting back there, looking at the zeros on his paycheck, going, "Yes, I'm out,
yeah,
I'm out, I'm done."
But in a sense, yeah, like you knew either Han or Chewie were going to probably bite the dust in this film. Like there was a very high chance that was going to happen. So. my problem wasn't with Han Solo dying; it was with how he died. And I've talked with many friends about this because, for me, the issue with how he died was the minute. Okay, like he gets killed by his son Ben Solo, but the way that it's set up, the way that it's done, the minute that Han Solo walks out, you know he's going to die.
Yeah.
Like you just know it. Like unless you really were in that state of like, no, he's fine, he's Han Solo. They're not going to kill off Han Solo. They got to sell a lot more action figures. Like no, like the minute he walks out, you know he's going to die. And I had trouble with that. I had trouble with like the setup, and then his son being all like, can you help me do this one thing? And like you just know he's going to betray him and kill him. I talked with my friend about this, and he kind of made more of an interesting point. I don't fully agree with it, but it makes me accept the scene a lot more than I would have before. And it's the idea that throughout the whole movie, you can tell obviously that the whole Ben Solo thing going south affected everybody, affected the whole group of friends that they were. But both like Maz and a bunch of people who know Han are like, dude, like you got to confront this. You have to confront this problem.
Stop running.
Yeah, stop running. Stop being the smuggler. Go back to being the Han Solo that you became pretty much at the Return of Jedi. And so, it's like, okay, so he confronts Leia, he talks to Leia, and then Leia's like, listen, I'm not mad at you. I just want our son back. Like we both went in, we both did what we did best, and, just bring our son home. And the minute she says that, you're like, Leia, like, no, he's gonna die. So
maybe that's what she wanted.
Maybe that was the whole plan all along.
Like, you left me for so long, I just want you dead.
Now I can get all your alimony.
Alimony, you still have to be alive to pay alimony.
Oh wait, no, not alimony. No, isn't there? No, hold on, what is it? I'm thinking of something else. No,
assets.
Assets, yes. Yeah, she gets Millennium Falcon.
She gets ownership of Chewie.
Chewie just goes.
I got the dog in the ship.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's about him confronting the fact that he lost his son, and not just like the loss of his son, talking to his wife, and then talking to his actual son and being like, I still love you no matter what. Because he knows that Kylo Ren has done terrible things. He knows that Ben has done terrible things at this point, and he still is like
destroy 5 planets the day before.
Yeah, well, technically that was the First Order. That wasn't like an order given by Kylo Ren, but yeah, like he still even after all that, he still goes like, please come home, like we miss you. And that made me like that really hurt.
He's my brother.
What?
Nothing. Just keep talking.
But no, like that was honestly like that hurt to hear. Like,
I want to make you proud, Pop.
Merman, Dad.
I'm a Sith now, Pop. What? You think you're gonna make me proud? You're prancing on the runway with your lightsaber hanging out?
Zoolander for people who don't get that reference. All right. Anyway, but yeah, I guess that makes it a little bit easier for me to accept, like him just facing his fears and facing his son and stuff. But at the same time, it does follow again that tradition that's been followed out throughout all the films, basically. That the first episode starts with the death of a big character, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and then Han. Spoilers for the rest if I haven't seen those movies. I don't know what you're doing here listening to us, but anyway. Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's my real last big issue with it was Han's death. And well, not that he died, but how he died. But again, the thing I like at this point is someone stated this and I agree with them. They're on the Starkiller base, which is like it's like a planet Death Star pretty much. And it's called Starkiller Base, which is a reference to both Luke originally being named Starkiller in the original drafts, but it actually kills stars. It sucks out the life of a sun until the sun is completely dead. And as it's doing that,
science.
I know, right? Well, it's fantasy. It's fantasy. We're letting it go because it's sci-fi fantasy. But yeah, he's on a bridge with his son, and then the sun is being basically drained of all light, and the light is on both him and his son, and right before his son betrays him, the light has fully gone out of the sky. So I like that symbolism, the fact that it's showing you, like, no, Kylo is cutting the last of his ties to the light side. He's going fully evil. So that's what I want. If they go forward with these movies, I don't want Kylo Ren redeemed. I don't want Leia to have like a mother to son moment. I literally want Kylo Ren to die at this point. Not only because he's a douchebag, but because he killed Han Solo. And I can't let you live after that, Kylo. I'm sorry. You have to die now. You have to die. I I want Luke to.
I want to wrap my hands around his throat and watch the life drain from his eyes.
Yes, I want Luke to like beat him up in like a lightsaber battle, like cut him down, say like this is for the children, this is for my wife.
I have the high ground.
God, no, not well. But then like cut off his hand and be like that's for Han or something, just something on that level. Just I've had enough of Kylo Ren now. Like that's it. Like he has to go. He'll probably last all the way to the end of the films, but I want him to suffer. I don't know. Okay, anyway, that's all I got. You have anything else? Any closing? Oh, I guess we should state like you overall. You give what an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, 8.5 out of 10 from me.
Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's obviously not perfect.
Yeah.
But
there's room for improvement.
Well, even as a movie itself, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
As a Star Wars movie, it's a good movie.
It's a good Star Wars movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, there are other things I would have done, or other things I would have liked to have seen or not seen, or But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, and the same.
I recommend seeing it 3D. I saw it in 3D, and I'm always hesitant with seeing 3D because you never know if it's gonna be like the fucking Alice in Wonderland Tim Burton, where it's just using every excuse to like let's throw things at the camera as much as possible.
I try to see it in 2D if I can. I was
hoping that it wouldn't be like that, and it wasn't. But I enjoyed it in 3D with like all the spaceships, and the lightsaber fights are really cool, especially when she's like on her knees and he like holds it at her. Yeah. And there's one scene with like a Star Destroyer, and it's like coming right at the camera, and it literally like comes right at you, and it's like a slow moving. It's not just like woo, like. Yeah. But it was pretty cool. A couple people in the audience actually like gasped at that, and I was just like, 3D people, what do you think was gonna happen?
That's how people react, man. But yeah, I've seen it 4 times in 2D, so I guess if I can see it in 3D, like why not? Not my choice. My friend wanted to see it in 3D, so I'm gonna see it in 3D. So I'll let you know. Yeah, I was more or less the same, about 8.5, but I've seen it like 4 times now, and I want to say I could give it a solid 9. I can honestly leave it on that. Give it a solid 9 because the effort, you can tell that effort and care was given to most of the movie. Like it was just like a lot of love and a lot of fandom, but all for the better good of the film, to make it a good film, not just a good Star Wars film, but a good enjoyable movie in general. So, especially I can put it. But yeah, definitely recommend it. Definitely see it once, see it twice if you get a chance. I mean, it's not for everybody. Some fans have had some issues with it. I mean, for the reasons we've stated or more. But I think honestly, it can only Star Wars can only go up from here. Knock on wood, and just hope for the best. So, all right, that's it for me. And,
yeah, I'm done.
Okay. See you later. Yeah.
What was that?
I was trying to say. Yeah. Bye. See you later, everyone.